Okay. Good morning to all of you. I see Arun Chalyad. Today topic is registration. It is very important topic. If we see the past trend, average 4 to 5 mark is coming. Minimum 4 and maximum I have seen 11.5 marks in one attempt. So be careful about this topic. It's very simple but very important. Let's start the registration chapter. Let me talk about go to the page number 7.71. I am using the study material of the institute, nothing else. Correct. So let's think about the registration in the GST is pen based and state specific. State specific means, for example, I am from Delhi and I am doing the business in Delhi. I am doing the business in Haryana, doing the business in Maharashtra. I need to take the registration in every state. One registration per state. However, the business entity have the separate place of the business in the state may obtain the separate registration for each of its place of the business. We will discuss in detail this particular point. GST identification number is called as GSTIN. Correct. It's a 15-digit number and certificate of the registration incorporating therein the GST is made available on the GST common portal. So its total composition is the 15-digit number and the registration is not tax specific. It means single registration for the CGST, SGST or UTGST or IGST and compensation cess. Now go back to the page number 6. This is our main topic, main discussion. So first I'm covering these 3 sections. What is these 3 sections? Section 22, section 23, section 24. 22, person liable to take registration, person not liable to take registration and compulsory registration. Repeating again, 3 points. Section 22 talk about person liable to take registration. 23 talk about person not liable to take registration, compulsory registration. In the exams, sometime the question is being directly asked, the person who is not liable to take registration, kindly state. It has been directly asked that person who is liable to take registration. So please note, one theory question you may expect directly or practically, which we will discuss. Person liable to take registration, here we will discuss the main 4 point. Let's start one by one. Subsection 1, subsection 2, subsection 3, subsection 4. In short, 4. First, if my turnover exceed threshold limit, what is the meaning of the turnover? What is the threshold limit? We are going to discuss. Just wait. First, I'm explaining in short. If my turnover exceed threshold limit. Second, if I am registered in the pre-GST era, then I have to take compulsory registration in the GST. Third, if it is being transferred on a going concern basis, I have transferred my business to Mr. B. Mr. B has to take compulsory registration. Fourth, if it is transferred on account of the amalgamation, etc., then have to take registration. New entity have to take registration. We are discussing one by one in detail. 22 subsection 1 is very important from practical perspective. My request, everyone, please participate in the chat if you have any question, and whenever I am asking the question, please give the reply. Starting, every registered person shall be liable to be registered under this act in the state or UT other than special category state. Why other than special category state? Because the threshold limit is different from where he make it taxable supplies. Point to be underlined. Point to be underlined, from where he makes a taxable supply if his aggregate turnover in a financial year exceed 20 lakhs. Multiple important point to be understood. First, every supplier shall be liable to take registration under this act from where he make a taxable supplies. Initially, I have given the example. Suppose I am providing the supply from Delhi, from Haryana, from Maharashtra. If it is a taxable supply, and if my aggregate turnover exceed threshold limit, that is 20 lakhs, in a financial year, point to be noted, it does not talk about in the preceding financial year. Meaning thereby, if during the financial year, if turnover exceed 20 lakhs or maybe 10 lakhs, maybe 40 lakhs, we will discuss. But during the financial year, if exceed the turnover, you need to take registration. Let me talk a simple example. Let me ask you one question. Please reply in the chat. If I am making no turnover from Haryana, if I do not have any supply in the Haryana, do I need to take registration in Haryana? I am waiting for your answer. Repeating again, I am located in Delhi, in Haryana, in Maharashtra. I am making the supply from Maharashtra. I am making the taxable supply from Delhi, but I does not have any supply in the Haryana. Do I need to take registration in Haryana? Answer would be no. Because I have to make a taxable supplies, then only I need to take compulsory registration if my turnover exceeds the threshold limit. Now, if I am making the supply from the special category state, so if I am making the supply other than special category state, then the limit would be 20 lakhs. If I am making the supply from special category state, then limit would be 10 lakh rupees. What is the meaning of the special category state? Just wait for a minute. What is the meaning of special category state? Sir, why we need to understand the meaning? Because if you are in the special category state, limit would be 10 lakh rupees. And other than special category state, limit would be 20 lakh rupees. What is the meaning of special category state? Go to the explanation 3. The special category state mean the state which has been specified in Indian Constitution Article 279A Clause 4 Subclause G. Article 279A Clause 4 Subclause G. It specifies the total 11 name as in special category state. However, for the purpose of the GST, Jammu Kashmir, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Sikkim and Uttarakhand has been excluded. Meaning thereby, these are the special category state according to the Indian Constitution. But following has been excluded for the purpose of the registration, only for the purpose of section 22, only for the purpose of this section. You please do not understand this meaning for any other provision. So there are certain questions. Vedantji, please wait for some time. I will answer your question. Fine. Now, every special provided further. Now, first, we have discussed that if it is in special category state, limit is 10 lakh rupees. Provided further, government at the request of the special category state, on the recommendation of the council, enhance the turnover, not only the turnover. Always use the word aggregate turnover. Is it different? Answer is yes. There is a difference between turnover and aggregate turnover. What is the meaning of aggregate turnover? We have the practical example also. Just wait for a while. In the first proviso, from 10 to such amount not exceeding 20, meaning thereby special category state has the power to lift their turnover from 10 to 20 lakhs. We can say out of the 11 category state, now there are only 4 states. Now there are only 4 states which have the threshold limit of 10. Rest have exceeded the rest. All the special category state, all the balanced special category state have enhanced their turnover. Now second proviso. At the request of the state, enhance the aggregate turnover from 20 to 40 in case of the supplier who is engaged exclusively in the supply of the goods. Now, what is the meaning? If I am exclusively engaged in the supply of the goods, then the limit would be not 20, it would be 40 lakhs. There is a various limit is being added. I do agree. Lot of confusion might be there. We have the practical case study and we have the some chart prepared by the institute. It will resolve the problem. It will clarify all the question, all the doubts. But try to understand the provision. Initially, if I talk about, I like to see the reply in the chat. Initially, limit for the special category state is rupees. Kindly give the reply in the chat. The limit for the special category state is rupees. ₹10 lakh, 20 lakh, 40 lakhs. 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 40 lakhs. Answer is 10 lakh rupees. Now, for the other than special category state, initial limit would be 20 lakh rupees. The third point, a special category state has the power to enhance their limit from 10 to 20. And if you are providing only supply of the goods, Vedant has asked the question, what does it mean exclusively supply the goods? Suppose I am having one shop in Delhi, providing the supply of the goods only within Delhi. I am making the supply of the goods in Delhi, within Delhi. What would be the threshold limit? The answer is 40 lakhs. Answer is 40 lakh. Is it clear? Now the point is, if I am making the supply the goods as well as services, would I be considered as exclusively in the goods? Answer is no. Repeating again, If I am providing only goods, what is the limit? The limit is 40 within the state. If I am providing the supply of the goods and services, should I be considered as exclusively engaged in the goods? Answer would be no. Then normal limit 20 lakhs. Why I am concentrating on the word within the state? Because there is certain exception which we will discuss in section 24. I am talking about within the state, within the state, within the state. Why? Because we will discuss in section 24 one exception or one mandatory provisions. So I hope it is clear. Now the explanation says that you will be considered exclusively in the goods if you are providing the exempt supply by way of the interest or discount. So that is one relaxation. Now come back to the chart. If goods and services, then threshold limit would be 20 lakhs. Absolutely correct. Because I will not be considered as in exclusively in the goods. So limit of the 40 lakh would not be there. So what would be the limit? 20 lakhs. So only services 20, services and goods 20, only goods 40. Come to this chart. I will multiple time I will come on this chart because we have to understand this chart completely. So exclusively in the supply of the goods. Perfect. So let's say first, normally it is 40 lakhs. And it is 20 lakh if I am only providing the service or providing the supply of the goods and services. Other state 40 and 20. I hope it is clear. Sir, special category, Virendra Agrawal ji. Please wait, Virendra Agrawal, please wait for 2 minutes. I need to explain here. Now the special category state I can divide in two parts. Why I am dividing two parts? As per Indian Constitution, there are the total 11 special category state. But for the purpose of section 22, these are only the special category state. So limit would remain 10 lakh rupees. Limit would remain 10 lakh rupees. For the balance, the limit would be 40 lakh rupees. You might find some different figure. Why? Let me explain that there is one notification. So normally I can say, I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. Repeating, and then you need to confirm. If I am in other than special category state, my limit, if I am exclusively engaged in the goods, 40 lakh. If I am providing the service only or providing the goods or services, limit would be 20 lakh. Point number 1. Point number 2, if I am a special category state, which is for the purpose of section 22, the limit would be 10 lakh rupees in both the cases. Whether I'm exclusively in the goods or only services or goods and services, limit would remain 10 lakh rupees. 2 points I have clarified. Now coming to the third point. What is the third point? The third point is a special category state other than section 22. Correct. Limit would be 40 and limit would be 20, like normal state. There are certain exceptions for which I will explain the notification. Then I will come back on this chart. But for the time being, I have explained 3 points. Repeating again, if I am providing the normal state, if I am providing the supply of goods only within that state, limit would be 40. If I am providing only services or a combination goods and services, limit would be 20 lakhs. Now, Special category state as per the section 22(4). Remember the name: Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. The limit would be 10 lakh whether you provide the goods and services or only services. Third point, special category state as per Indian Constitution is total 11, out of which 4 is the special category state for the purpose of section 22, and the balance 7, what would be the limit? 40 lakhs if I am exclusively engaged in the goods, and 20 lakh if I am providing only services or goods and services. Till now, is it clear? Kindly confirm so that I can move to the notification and explain why there are certain exceptions. Just confirm, is it clear till now? These 3 important points. I hope it will answer all the questions which you have asked till now. Give me the confirmation, please. Rakesh, Vrinda, Sunil Dubey, Hariharan. Please confirm so that I can move to the next point. Yes, exclusive supply the service, no separate. It will normally cover in the 20 lakh limit. Anil Kumar Reddy, kindly confirm. Rakesh Vyas, threshold limit for the goods for special 10 lakh rupees. Vrinda, in special category state, if I am exclusively in the goods, then limit would be 10 lakh rupees. I have explained, right? If goods and services, then limit would be 20 lakh. Absolutely correct, Sunil Dubey. Please confirm, is it clear? Till now, is it clear? I have received the confirmation from Rohan Jain. Great. Thank you so much. Now, coming to the exception. Why there is an exception? Because of this notification. It says that limit of the 40 lakh would not be applicable in the following case. Limit of 40 lakh would not be applicable in the following case. What is the case? If person required to take compulsory registration in section 24, we will discuss section 24, in which the threshold limit would be ignored and compulsory registration we will discuss. And if person engage in making the supply of the ice cream, any other edible ice, whether or not contain coca, pan masala, and all goods of the chapter 24, that is tobacco and the manufactured tobacco substitute. Ice cream, pan masala, tobacco. The limit would be normal limit. Normal limit means if I am normal state, then limit would be 20 lakhs. If I am in the special category state, 10 lakh rupees. Person engaged in making intra-state supply in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Telangana, Puducherry, and special category state as per section 24. It means 4. What is that? Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura. On these state, the limit would not be 40. Limit would not be 40 means the normal limit would be there. Normal limit would be there. So, Manipur, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. These are the special category state, and it says that limit of the 40 lakh would not be applicable. Would not be applicable. What does it mean? What does it mean? If normal limit, extended limit, 40 lakh would not be applicable, it means it will have the normal limit. What is the normal limit? What is the normal limit? Sir, 10 lakh rupees. Fine. For the balance, Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Telangana, Puducherry. I am talking about first these: Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Sikkim. Why I am taking only these 4? See, as per Indian Constitution, how many states are the special category? Sir, total 11. Out of which this notification says Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, and Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Uttarakhand. The extended limit of 40 lakh would not be applicable. What does it mean? The normal limit. What is the normal limit? For these 4 special category state, 10 lakh, and for these 20 lakhs. And third point. What is the third point? It says that the limit of the 40 would not be applicable for the Telangana and Puducherry. Now you can see for Telangana and Puducherry. The limit is again 20 lakhs. Now, what is the exception where the limit of the 40 lakh would not be applicable? I am explaining again. First, for 4 special category state, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, 40 lakh would not be applicable means what is applicable? Normal limit. What is the normal limit for special category? 10 lakh rupees. Second, it would not be applicable in the rest. The special category state, it would not be applicable in 4 cases also. What is the 4 state? What is the name of the 4 state? Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Sikkim, and Uttarakhand. Third is that for Telangana and Puducherry, again the normal limit would be applicable, 20 lakh rupees. Is it clear to everyone? Kindly confirm. So you need to remember these in 3 parts. Special category state, 40 lakh would not be applicable. Which 2 state 40 lakh would not be applicable? Puducherry, Telangana, and bottom 4. Give me the confirmation. Is it clear? Give me the confirmation. Is it clear? So based on this, I can explain limit is 10 lakh. Whether you are exclusively in the goods or services or only services, limit would remain 10 lakh rupees for the special category state. Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. Where the limit would be 20 lakh. Where the limit would be 20 lakhs if I am in the Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Puducherry, and Telangana. Whether I am exclusively in the goods or only services or goods plus services. And rest, if I am exclusively in the goods, limit would be 40. If I am exclusively in the service or goods plus services, the limit would be 20 lakh rupees. Absolutely correct understanding. Mansha, you have absolutely analyzed the correct. Total special category state as per the Indian Constitution 279A, clause 4, subclause G, it's 11. But only for the purpose of section 22, it's 4. But we will discuss in the composition, or you have already completed composition, wherein some different states are considered as a special category. But please understand, there are total 11 special category states as per Indian Constitution, but only 4 are special category for the purpose of section 22. I hope it is clear. Mansha. Give me only a minute so that I can. Can you give the answer? Can you give the answer for the question number 4, part first? Mr. Ahmed of Jammu and Kashmir engaged in the business of the tobacco based pan masala, what aggregate turnover 24 lakh. What do you think? Whether he is required to take compulsory registration? Limit would be 40, limit would be 10, limit would be 20. What do you understand? Give me the confirmation. I am waiting for your reply. Mr. Ahmed from Jammu and Kashmir, making the supply within Jammu and Kashmir, rupees 24 lakh, supplying the tobacco based pan masala, aggregate turnover 24. Please answer whether he need to take compulsory registration, whether he need to take compulsory registration, what would be the threshold limit for him, 10 lakh, 20 lakh or 40 lakhs. This is on your screen. You can answer by looking this particular chart. Probably you will not be remember for the time being, but no problem. Now please answer. I am waiting for your answer. Give me the reason. Give me the answer. Rohan Jain, not okay, but not comfortable. Rohini, why you are saying compulsory registration? Why you are saying compulsory registration? Vrinda, why limit 20? Why not 40? Why limit 20? Why not 40? Why limit 20? Why not 40? Namrata, give me the reasoning. I am not satisfied with only this word that compulsory registration. I need the justification. Rupesh, not opt means. Thank you, Tirumalaji. And is it 20? Is it 40? Confused. Why confused? Normally, for the Jammu and Kashmir, if I am exclusively in the goods, the limit would be 40 lakhs. No doubt about that. Then why I am saying he has to take registration? Sir, please confirm in the notification we have discussed that this enhanced limit of 40 lakh would not be applicable in case if the person is doing the business of pan masala, tobacco, ice cream, other edible ice. So therefore the answer would be limit in this case would not be 40. Therefore he has to take registration, limit exceeding 20 lakhs. I hope it is clear. I hope it is clear. Awaiting your confirmation, please give me your answer. You need to give the reply in the chat. Yes, limit would be 20 in this case. Why 20 in this case? Again, someone are saying that he is engaged in the supply the service. Where it is written supply the service? Vivek, tobacco. He is supplying the goods only. Normally, in case of the Jammu and Kashmir, limit would be 40. But because he is supplying the tobacco, which is covered in the exception, therefore the limit would be 20. He has to take registration. Absolutely clear. Absolutely correct. Tirumala Koli, perfect. Quickly answer, if LAPCHA of the Mizoram is engaged in the supply of the paper with an aggregate turnover of 13 lakh, what would be your answer? If he is engaged in if he is supplying the paper, that is goods, but from Mizoram, turnover is 13. So what would be the turnover in case of the Mizoram? What would be the turnover in case of the Mizoram? Go back to this chart. If I am Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, special category, limit would be 10. In this case, it is 13 lakh, which is exceeding 10 lakh rupees, need to take registration. Perfect, Preksha. बहुत बढ़िया. Excellent. Nidhi, absolutely correct. Thank you so much. So Confirm second example, because he's doing the business in the special category state, so limit would be 10 lakh. His turnover is 13, therefore he has to take compulsory registration. Therefore he has to take registration. Absolutely correct. Superb. Excellent. Enjoying my class because you are very active in the chat. Really appreciated. Yeah. Really appreciated. And if he, now I'm changing the question. Suppose if he's from Meghalaya, then what would be your answer? If he is from Meghalaya, then what would be your answer? Check the threshold limit of the Meghalaya. Sir, simply check the threshold limit of the Meghalaya. What is the threshold limit for Meghalaya? Sir, it is 20. Because in this case, the limit is turnover is 13 lakh, which is less than 20 lakh, not required to take registration. Meghalaya limit is 20, not exceeding, not required to take compulsory registration. Just give me your confirmation so that I can move to the next point. I can move to the next point. Yes. Excellent. Right, Nidhi, Vivek, absolutely correct. Important one. What is this? Suppose I am doing the business. Suppose I am doing the business. Fine. Suppose I am doing the business in Mizoram and I am also doing the business in Maharashtra. For Mizoram, the limit is 10 lakh. For Maharashtra, limit is 40 lakh. Correct? If a person with the place of the business in the different state across India has one branch in a special category state from which it make the taxable supplies, mark important, then the limit would be reduced to 10 lakh rupees. Are you satisfied with this point? Very simple. If I'm doing the business in Mizoram and doing the business in Maharashtra, my threshold limit would be 10 lakh rupees, not 40. Not 40. If I am doing the business in a special category state, my limit would be reduced to 10. Now let's say, suppose in the Mizoram, I am not providing any taxable supply. Suppose from the Mizoram, I am providing the exempt supply. I am providing the non-taxable supplies. And in Maharashtra, I am providing the taxable supplies. Your answer would be not 10 lakh rupees. Your answer would be 40 lakhs. You have one practical case study also. You have one practical case study also for this. Let me see. Uday Enterprises is engaged in supplying the taxable goods in Maharashtra. It also supplies the alcoholic liquor in Nagaland. The limit turnover, current turnover is 34 lakh in Maharashtra, 8 lakh in the Nagaland. Since Uday Enterprises is exclusively engaged in the goods from Maharashtra, for that limit is 40. However, the threshold limit will not be reduced to 10 lakh in this case. Why not in this case? Because from special category state, he is making the supply. From special category state, he is making the supply of non-taxable supplies. Therefore, in this case, limit would be 40 lakhs. I'm not coming to this point whether he need to take registration or not. My question is, what would be the threshold limit for Mr. Uday Enterprises? Because Uday Enterprises is providing the taxable from Maharashtra, non-taxable from Nagaland. So limit would not be 10 lakh rupees, limit would be 40 lakh rupees. Give me your confirmation. Very important from examination point of view. Is it clear? Kindly confirm. What is the meaning of aggregate turnover? What is the meaning of aggregate turnover? Certain plus, certain minus. Direct question you may expect. Direct question you may expect in the exams. If you make the taxable supplies, then okay, limit would be reduced to 10 lakh rupees if it is 4 special category state. Why you are talking about Sikkim, Nagaland? We have discussed Sikkim, Nagaland is not the special category state, sir. Rohan, we have discussed only कि Sikkim and Nagaland is not the special category state. Remember this chart. Sorry, Nagaland is the special Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. These are the 4 special category state, but Sikkim is covered in the normal state. I hope it is clear now. If you are doing the business in the special category state, if you are doing the business in any of the special category state, limit would be reduced to 10 lakh rupees. Now we need to go back. We need to go to the next point. Aggregate turnover means value of the outward supplies taxable, exempted, export, inter. It will be added in the aggregate turnover. Taxable supplies, exempted supplies, export, and interstate. I need to add taxable supplies, I need to add exempt supply, I need to add export, I need to interstate of the person having the same pen to be computed on all India basis. To be computed on all India basis, meaning thereby I am doing the business in Delhi, I am doing the business in Maharashtra, doing the business in Haryana. I have the turnover of 15 lakh in Delhi, 20 lakh in Maharashtra, 20 lakh in Haryana. What is my aggregate turnover? What is my aggregate turnover? Aggregate turnover would be sum total of all this. So I need to take registration. Which part would not be included in the aggregate turnover? Taxes and inward supply on which RCM is applicable. Now you have completed RCM chapter. So if I need to pay the tax on reverse charge, that particular transaction will not be added in the aggregate turnover. So you may expect direct question in the aggregate turnover, what to be added, what not to be added. So suppose I am saying, please tell me if I am making the exempt supply, will it be added in the aggregate turnover? Answer is yes. If I am providing the non-taxable supplies, will it be added in the aggregate turnover? Answer is yes. Why answer is yes? The word exempt supply include taxable, include exempted, also include non-taxable, also include nil rated. Repeating again, the word exempt supply, what is the meaning of the exempt supply? It has been defined in GST section 2 clause 47. It includes three things. Nil rated supply, non-GST nil rated supply, exempted by way of the notification, and third is non-taxable supplies. My question is whether alcoholic liquor, petrol would be added in the aggregate turnover. Answer would be yes. Why yes? Because these transactions are non-taxable supplies, and non-taxable supply is an exempt supply. Therefore, it has to be added in the aggregate turnover. Sir, Vrinda, sir, in Jammu and Kashmir, I am supplying the tobacco and any other goods not covered by notification, then what will be the limit? Normal limit. Na? So if you are saying tobacco, whether you are providing any other goods, exclusively goods, doesn't matter, the limit would be reduced to 20 lakh rupees. Mansa, for section 10, we will not discuss about composition right now. Anil Kumar Reddy, what benefit does special category state having less threshold limit? Normally, they are having the less comparatively turnover compared to the other state. That is the reason. Zero rated supply means export. Yes, it will be added. It will be added. Question number 9, it was saying, sir, question number 9, I just explain in short. You are doing the business in the special category state and normal state. First, try to understand concept. You are doing the business in special category state and in the normal state. Then limit would be reduced to 10 lakh rupees. What is the exception? Suppose from special category state, I am not providing taxable supplies. In the question number 9, what I am providing? I am providing the non-taxable supplies. So therefore, in the question number 9, it was said that you are not required to reduce your, what would be the threshold limit? Limit would be 40 lakhs. Is it clear? So we have to complete the registration chapter. So we are coming to the next point. We are going to the next point. What is the next point? So point number subsection 2 is clear. If I am registered in the pre-GST era, hold any license under an existing law, like I am registered in the CST, I am registered in the VAT, I need to take registration compulsorily in the GST. Where the business is carried on by a taxable person registered under this act is transferred whether on account of the succession or otherwise. What does it mean otherwise? Otherwise means there is a circular which has been clarified that even in case of the death of the father, for example, proprietor is there, he has been expired and his son like to continue that business, then it will be also considered as a transfer on the going concern basis. Then the transferee or successor shall be liable to be registered with effect from the date of the such transfer. Fine. Subsection 4 talk about notwithstanding anything contained in 1 and 3 in case of the transfer pursuant to the scheme of an amalgamation or demerger, 2 or more company in pursuant to the order of the High Court, the transferee shall be liable to be registered with effect from the date on which ROC issue the certificate of incorporations. So fine, it is very simple theoretical point. The aggregate turnover shall include all the supplies made by the taxable person, whether on his own account or made on behalf of so that I need to take the permission from Vedant Chaturvedi. I'll copy this link, and after taking the permission, we'll definitely join. After taking the permission, we'll definitely join. So aggregate turnover will include all supplies made by the taxable person, whether is on account or made on behalf of all his principal. Suppose I am providing the supply on my own account or I am agent of Mr. A, then whatever the supply I made on behalf of Mr. A, that will also be added in my aggregate turnover. So that we have completed. Now coming to the section 24. Yes, here we will discuss that in which scenario I need to take compulsory registration ignoring the threshold limit. Let's say if I am covered in section 24, I need to take mandatory registration excluding or ignoring the turnover. If I am making interstate taxable supplies of goods, You remember that in the initial example, why I was saying again and again, sir, I am making the supply within Delhi. I am making the supply within state, then limit would be 40. Why I was saying? Because if I am making the interstate supply, if I am making the interstate supplies of goods, the threshold limit would not be applicable. I will be covered in section 24, need to take compulsory registration. Sir, what happen if I am providing the service only? In case of services, there was relaxation. In case of the services, there was relaxation. What was the relaxation? I can provide the interstate supply without taking the registration. I can provide the supply of the service from one state to the another state without taking the registration till my turnover not cross threshold limit. If my aggregate turnover not cross 20 lakhs or 10 lakh rupees, if my aggregate turnover not cross 20 lakhs or 10 lakh, I can provide the service from one to the another. Person making the interstate taxable supplies, you may expect the question that if I am providing the goods from one state to the another, do I need to take compulsory or the limit would be 40 or 20 applicable? Answer would be you have to take compulsory registration. But if I am providing the service, then sir, limit would be applicable. For the time being, just remember the casual taxable person making the taxable supplies. However, the threshold limit would be 20 lakhs or 10 lakh is available in case of the casual taxable person who is making the interstate taxable supplies of notified handicraft goods and availing the benefit of the exemption is mentioned. We will discuss. From his own pen, Riya Bhatia. Please note one thing, that the son has to take compulsory registration whenever there is a change in the permanent account number. Father was doing the business, he has expired, now son like to continue that business. Whether he has to take new registration or same. Sir, please note one thing, whenever there is a change in the permanent account number, whenever there is a change in the permanent account number, new registration has to be obtained. You cannot continue with the old GST number. Absolutely correct, Gajjar. Gajjar Naveen Chandra, absolutely correct, your understanding. So the casual taxable person, I can say that if they are providing the supply of the handicraft goods, if they are providing the supply of the handicraft goods, yes, they can take the benefit of the normal threshold limit 20 or 10. Third is person who are required to pay the tax under reverse charge basis on the inward supply. Compulsory registration. Compulsory registration. Non-resident taxable person. Non-resident taxable person making the taxable supplies. So this two concept, non-resident taxable person, casual taxable person. Please wait for some time. We are going to discuss in the section 27 in the bottom of this part, bottom of this chapter only. But the highlighted part like this, e-commerce, point number 6 is point number 8, point number 9. These 8, 9, 10, these are covered in the CA final, not covered in this. So only for your knowledge purpose, you can discuss, you can see, but otherwise it's not covered in your syllabus. So we have discussed 3 point. We have discussed 3 point, rather I should say 4 point. First is if I am making the interstate taxable supplies of the goods, if I am making the interstate taxable supplies of the goods, limit would be no limit, mandatory registration. Service, basic limit, limit would be applicable. even though you are providing the interstate. Yes, absolutely correct, Rekha. So point number 1 is clear. Point number 2, casual taxable person supplying the handicraft goods, he is not required to take compulsory. He can enjoy the benefit of the 20 or 10. Third, non-resident taxable person making the taxable supplies, compulsory registration. And next point, if I need to pay the tax under RCM, my dear friend, I need to take compulsory registration. Next point, e-commerce operator, I am not discussing in detail, just you can read only for your knowledge purpose. TDS, TCS, you can read only for knowledge, but it is not covered. Now, this is important because I have seen practical example, practical case example, case study in the exams. If you are making the taxable supplies on behalf of another taxable supplies, for example, I am agent working on behalf of the principal. Working on behalf of the principal, I need to take compulsory registration, even though my turnover not exceed the threshold limit. Yes, see, only point, if I am providing only services, see, I am using the word only, I am using the word exclusively, then you can enjoy the benefit of 20 or 10. Now, if I provide the goods, it's mandatory. If I am providing the goods and services, it's mandatory. Only services, then only you can enjoy the benefit of the 20 or 10, otherwise not. So it means I am only providing goods or I am providing the goods as well as services. Limit would be 0. And next, such other class of the person as may be notified. So we have covered section 22 and section 24, and direct question you can expect on this section 23. Theory question you can expect. So like me, like in this, like I show you that PowerPoint question, MCQ question which I shared. Who are the person liable to take registration under this act? Please confirm what would be your answer. Please confirm what would be your answer. List inclusion, exclusion for computation of aggregate turnover. We have discussed section 22 talks about 4 situations. I need to take registration, and second, inclusion and exclusion of aggregate turnover we have discussed. Correct. Question number 2. Who are the person not liable for registration under GST law? Section 23, which we will talk about right now. 5 marks ka question was given in the exams, so that you can expect directly theoretical question, or you may ask, you may expect practical also. In this, Mr. Raghav is engaged in wholesale cum retail trading of the medicine in the state of the Assam. His turnover during the year is 9 lakh, which consists of intra as well as inter. Please tell me he need to take registration or not. Please tell me he need to take compulsory registration or not. Right, Pooja, till 20 lakhs. If handicraft goods is being supplied by the casual taxable person, Hariharan, wait for some time. Wait for some time. I have not explained casual taxable person. I have not explained non-resident taxable person. I will discuss in section 27 in this chapter only. Just wait for some time. But please answer this question. Raghav is engaged in the supply of the goods inter 8 lakh, intrastate 8 lakh, or inter 1 lakh. The total turnover is only 9 lakh. He belongs to Assam. What is the threshold limit in this case? What is the threshold limit in this case? Whether he is required to take registration or not required to take registration. Awaiting for your answer. Awaiting for your answer whether this Mr. Raghav has to take registration or not required to take registration till 10, 20, 40, whatever the case may be. Yes, 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 you can get. Right, Sunil? Super. In this case, he has to take Hariharan. Why not compulsory? Interstate supply of the medicine. Interstate supply the medicine. Interstate supply the medicine. It is compulsory registration, sir. Section 24. Is it okay? Second case, S.N. Gupta of the Rajasthan is engaged in the trading of the taxable goods on his own account and also acting as an agent of the Mr. Rishi of Delhi. His turnover is 12 lakh on his own account, 9 lakh on behalf of the principal. Both turnover are intrastate, whether he is required to obtain the registration or not. Rekha, interstate, mandatory registration. Raghav is required to take mandatory because he is making the supply the goods from one state to the another state. Anita has given the answer. Acting as an agent, so need to take, he must take registration compulsory. Question ka ek word important. Yes, absolutely correct, Riya. Absolutely correct. So because we are doing CA, so the stress or focus has to be given on every point. It's very, very important. So I can say in this case also, because he's covered in section 24, need to take mandatory. Because he is an agent covered in the section 24, need to take mandatory. In both the cases, you need to take mandatory registration. Question number 4, till question 4 we have completed. Give me the answer for question number 5. Amit, taxable person, is operating in Tamil Nadu, Punjab and West Bengal. With the same PAN, can he operate with a single registration in West Bengal? It was a question of 2 marks. Vedant, answer is right, but the reasoning is not right. Answer is right, but the reasoning is not right. He has to take registration is because threshold limit is exceeded? No. Because it is covered in section 24. Compulsory, ignore the turnover. In the second case, because he was the agent, therefore you need to take compulsory registration. Agent, therefore you need to take compulsory registration. Mansa, is it clear? Still you are saying not exceed 40, no requirement of registration. I am saying both the cases are covered in section 24. Yes. Namrata, absolutely correct. Making the taxable supplies on behalf of another, therefore he has to take compulsory registration. Chetan Sharma, answer is right, but reasoning is not because aggregate turnover exceeding. We are not required to look into the aggregate turnover because it is covered in section 24. He is making the supply on behalf of another person. Therefore, it is covered in section 24. He has to take compulsory registration. My question is not the PAN number. My question is, can he operate with the single registration in West Bengal? Can he make the supply from Tamil Nadu, from Punjab, from West Bengal by using the GST number of West Bengal? My question is, Amit, the taxable person, is operating in 3 different states from where he is making the taxable supplies. Can he operate with a single registration? Question is not the PAN. Question is the GST number. Can PAN number would remain same? Suppose I am doing the business in Tamil Nadu, in Punjab, in West Bengal. Do you think my PAN number would change in every state? Answer would be no. My PAN number would remain same. Only point. Question is, can I make the supply by taking the registration only in the West Bengal? Try to understand the question. Can I make the supply? Can I make the supply from 3 different states? From, I'm using the word from Tamil Nadu, from Punjab, from West Bengal. Sir, I have discussed initially, he cannot operate. He has to take registration in every state from where he is making the taxable supplies. Repeating last time, Mr. Amit has to take registration in every state from where he is making the taxable supplies. From where he is making the taxable supplies. In this example, he is making the supply from Tamil Nadu, from Punjab, from West Bengal. He has to take registration in every state. Underline this word. Second situation. Are you able to understand any difference? In this situation, I'm saying Amit is making the supply from Tamil Nadu, from Punjab, from West Bengal. What would be the answer? What would be the answer? Answer is yes, to take 3 registration, assuming turnover exceeds the threshold limit. He cannot operate in 3 states by using the 1 GST number. He cannot operate in 3 states by using the 1 GST number. Now changing the example. If Amit is from West Bengal, making the supply within West Bengal, making the supply from Telangana, making the supply from making the supply to Telangana, making the supply to Punjab. Repeating again, Amit is located in the West Bengal. He is making the intra-state supply as well as in other state. Can he operate from 1 GST number? Very important concept clarity. Give me the confirmation. Give me the answer for the situation number 2. What would be your answer? This is clear. Question number 1 is clear. I am asking the question number 2. I am asking the question number 2. What would be your answer if Amit is doing the business in West Bengal? From West Bengal, he is making the supply within the state. Yes, Sunil Dubey, I am receiving your answer. I am receiving your answer, rest to be sure. So next point is, if Amit is making the supply from West Bengal only, but to the different state, answer is there is no requirement to take multiple registration in every state. Where he is making the taxable supplies, no, answer would be origin. I hope it is clear. Give me the confirmation. Waiting for your reply. Give me the confirmation. I hope it is clear. All are correct. Rohan Jain, Rekha, Ankit Verma, Rohini, Hariharan, Rahul Jha, Ramakrishna, Namrata. All are correct. Superb. Give me the answer for question number 6. Give me the answer for question number 6. A sole proprietor started the business in supply with both exempted as well as taxable in Assam. He has furnished the following detail relating to the sales made for the month of April. So need to calculate the aggregate turnover. Please calculate the aggregate turnover in this case. Sorry. Please calculate the aggregate turnover in this case. Vedant, I'm coming to your question, but let me complete this question number 6. We'll come back to the question number 5, the part which I have explained. Calculate the aggregate turnover. First, calculate the aggregate turnover. Vedant, I will answer your question, but just give me the answer. All are requested to give the answer for question number 6. What is the aggregate turnover? Answer would be 25 lakhs. Answer would be 25 lakhs. Examine whether happy trader is liable to be registered, is required to be liable to be registered. Whether is required to be liable to be registered. You are correct that aggregate turnover is 25. It will be added the non-taxable supplies. It will be added the taxable supplies, everything. But my point is whether is required to take liable to take registration. Whether is liable to take registration. Is it mandatory? Assam, is it mandatory? So normal limit is Assam for 40 lakhs. Normal limit is 40 lakh. Answer. Will the 40 lakh be applicable in this case? Will the 40 lakh be applicable in this case? Is still not satisfactory answer, sir. Still not satisfactory answer. Vrinda, I think you have touched the main point. You have considered the main point. Sir, please tell me whether limit of the 40 lakh would be applicable in this case or not. This is the only point of question. Important part, whether 40 lakh limit is applicable in this case or not. Whether 40 lakh limit is applicable in this case or not. Give me the confirmation. Whether limit of the 40 lakh is applicable in this case or not. Quickly answer. Give me the quick answer, sir. Absolutely correct. Because he is engaged in the tobacco, 40 lakh would not be applicable. It will be restored to the normal limit, that is 20. In this example, because it is 25 lakh, total aggregate turnover is 25. Therefore, he has to take registration. Nidhi, Khushi, point is clear to everyone? Whether this point is clear to everyone? Normally, you are correct that limit for the Assam is 40 lakh, but because he's making the supply of the tobacco, therefore the limit of the 40 would not be applicable. Normal limit would be there. He has to take registration. Now, coming in short, I'm explaining Vedant. You have asked the question, the part 2 of this, which was a tricky. I've used the word to. Suppose Amit is from West Bengal, he is making the supply in multiple states. Can he make the supply by using the 1 GST number of West Bengal, or he has to take 3 GST number? Telangana, Punjab and West Bengal. Answer is because he is making the supply only from West Bengal. He is making the supply only from the West Bengal. He can make the supply in any state by using the 1 GST number. Pooja, yes, I am receiving your answer. I am receiving your answer. Rekha, reasoning is incorrect. For alcoholic, it is not the case. The limit of the 40 lakh would not be applicable. Limit of the 40 lakh would not be applicable in case if you are engaged in the pan masala, tobacco, or that ice cream. Fine. Thank you, Vedant. Section 23. Section 23, we will discuss in short. We have the shortage of time, So I am explaining the situation where I am not required to take registration. Not liable for registration. Person engaged exclusively in the supply of the goods or services are both not liable to tax or wholly exempt from tax. There are the 6 situations wherein person not liable to be registered. Answer is section 23. I am explaining section 23. Person engaged exclusively. Again, exclusively word is there. In supplying the goods or services or both, which is not liable to tax or fully exempt from tax. Irrespective of my turnover, I am not required to take registration. Irrespective of my turnover, I am not required to take registration when assume that I am making the exempt supply, only exempt supply. My turnover is 50 lakh rupees. Do I need to take registration? Answer is no. Why no? Because of section 23. Suppose I am owning petrol pump. I am owning petrol pump. I am making the supply of only petrol of rupees 1 crore. Do I need to take compulsory registration? Answer is no. Why? Because I am dealing in the supply which is not leviable to tax or are fully exempt. Important word is this. Changing the question. Suppose I am making the taxable supplies. Of rupees say 1000 machine oil, and I am making the supply of the petrol say rupees 1 crore. Do I need to take registration? Suppose I am making the supply of the machine oil. Machine oil is taxable. The value is only 1000, and supply the petrol which is not covered in the GST value is 1 crore. Do I need to take registration? The simple point, whether I am exclusively engaged in the non-taxable supplies, answer is no, because you are making the supply of the machine oil which is taxable. I am supplying the machine oil which is taxable, therefore I have to take registration. If I am only engaged in the petrol, see, try to differentiate. Situation number 1, if I am engaged in the petrol only, I am not required to take registration. If I am making the supply the petrol as well as some taxable, and my turnover exceed the threshold limit, I need to take registration. Is it clear? Kindly confirm. Is it clear? Kindly confirm. Is it clear? Kindly confirm. Fine. Let me repeat. Sandeep, if I am only engaged in the non-taxable supplies, or wholly exempt supply, do I need to take registration? Answer would be no, because of section 23. Now let's say example number 2. I am making supply the petrol same 1 crore and supply the machine oil or lubricant which is say 1000 rupees. What is my aggregate turnover? In the aggregate turnover, we have discussed that we will include the petrol, we will include the taxable, exempt, non-GST, export, everything. So in this case, aggregate turnover exceed threshold limit, whether I am exclusively engaged in the supply of the non-taxable item, answer is no. Therefore, I need to take registration in example number 2. I hope it is clear. Sandeep, kindly confirm. Tannu, is it clear now? So their registration is not for the product. See, registration is not for the product. Registration is for the PAN number. So I am owning the petrol from my own PAN. So I can supply any item. So registration would be for my PAN number, not for my product. Is it clear? Less response is there. What happened? You all need to give the reply. Fine. Coming to the section 25. Coming to the section 25, which talks about the procedure and the registration. Coming to the section 25, which talks about the procedure and the registration. First is time limit. What is the time limit to take the registration? Suppose I was covered by section 22 or section 24, then I have to make the application within 30 days. Try to understand this point. It will be applicable in two places. I am saying, suppose my turnover exceeds the threshold limit, or I am covered by any of the provision in the section 24. Let's say on 1/1/2022, my turnover exceed on 1/1/2022, my turnover exceed 20 lakh, 40 lakh, or 10 lakh, whatever the case may be. So within 30 days, I needed to make an application. I needed to make an application within 30 days. Let's say on 25th Jan 2022, I have made the application and certificate is being granted on 6th Feb 2022. Mansa, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Yes, Rupesh, absolutely correct. What you said, registration will be your pen, not for goods. Yes, Dia. Registration, when I take the registration, I'll give the list of the goods in which I am dealing. One registration for one pen within the state. So, for example, I am dealing in the 5 goods. It does not mean that I have to take 5 registration. I need to disclose only the nature of the goods or services in which I am dealing. So what was my example? My example is I was liable to take registration from 1/1/2022. I had to make an application within 30 days. Suppose I have applied on 25th Jan 2022. My certificate in REG 06 has been granted on 6th Feb 2022. The first point I like to explain time limit within which I need to make an application. Second point, I need to explain what is the effective date of registration. What is the effective date of the registration? If I make the application within 30 days, if I will make the application within 30 days, my effective date would be date on which I need to take registration, date of the liability. I am explaining here 2 points. I am explaining 2 points. The first is if I become liable to take registration either because of section 22 or because of section 24, I need to application within 30 days. In this example, I am saying if I make the application within 30 days, what would be the effective date of registration? What would be the effective date of the registration? That is 1st Jan 2022. That is the date on which I am liable to take registration. Now, next point, suppose I have made the application after 30 days. After 30 days, let's say I have applied on 1st Feb. Let's say I have applied on 1st Feb. What is my effective date? Date of the grant of the certificate. Namrata, yes, separate registration for separate state. If I am operating in multiple states from where I am making the taxable supplies, I need to take the registration in every state. Ha, Rupesh, no problem, na? No problem. If the nature of the business is commission, then profit from the commission is my business. So commission would be the transaction. Become liable to registration? Yes. Mansa, for calculating, we need to, yeah, absolutely correct. What is the time limit to make an application? 30 days. If I have applied within 30 days, then what would be the effective date of the registration? The date on which I am liable to take registration, that is 1st Jan 2022. Correct. If I have applied for GST, I need to make an application. If my application is submitted after 30 days, then date of the grant of the certificate would be the effective date. And what was that in my example? 6th Feb 2022. Is it clear? Effective date concept is clear to all? Kindly confirm. Effective date concept is clear to all? Kindly confirm. Effective date concept is clear to all? Kindly confirm. If I am applying, then date of the grant of the certificate. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Quickly confirm. Quickly confirm. So fine. Sorry, I have left certain point of that section 23. Coming back, sorry, I have left certain point of section 23. Let me touch upon that first. So person engaged in exclusively. Second, if agriculturist limited to the supply the produce out of the cultivation of land. If agriculturist is there, he is making the supply out of the cultivation of land. Then again, even though turnover exceeds the threshold limit, he is not required to take registration. Suppose if the person is making the supply which is covered in the reverse charge, here outward supply is being talking about. We are talking about outward supply. Riya, absolutely correct. But after 30 days, we have to make an application, but effective date would be the date of the registration, date of the certificate of the registration, and the problem is ITC, which I hope you have covered in the ITC chapter, or not covered, then you can refer. But let me complete first this particular point. I have left in between section 23 that person engaged exclusively in the supply the goods, then exclusively in the supply the goods which is not leviable to tax or are wholly exempt, not liable for registration. Agriculturist who is providing the supply out of the cultivation of land, not required to take registration even though turnover exceeds the threshold limit. I am advocate. I am providing the service to you. I am advocate. I am providing the service to you. Even though my turnover exceeds threshold limit, say my total supply is 21 lakh. My supply is completely covered in reverse charge. I am not required to pay the tax. You will pay the tax because of the reverse charge. I am relaxed from registration. Next, person making interstate supply the service up to 20 lakh. We have discussed that if I am providing the interstate supply of the goods, compulsory registration, section 24. But if I am providing the service from one state to another, I am not required to take registration till 20 or 10 lakh. Now these 2 points, person making the interstate supply of handicraft goods up to 20 lakh, I am not required to take registration. Similarly, casual taxable person making interstate supply the handicraft goods up to 20 lakh, not required to take registration, or 10 lakh in the case of the special category state. Section 23, which I have missed in between, I have covered right now. You can expect straightforward short question, or they may take certain example in this case. I hope it is clear to all. Kindly give me the confirmation. If it is not clear, ask the question, please. If it is not clear, ask the question. Let me confirm, then we'll move to the section 25. Then we'll again move to the section 25. Waiting for your confirmation, please. Yes, sir. Yeah, base same hai. Absolutely correct. Base is same. I hope it is okay. Section 23 is okay to all. You may expect direct question, theory question that lists down the situation in which person not liable to take registration. Please remember 6 points you need to mention. You need to plot the all 6 points. Now coming to the section 25. So we have discussed time limit. Please note, in case of the casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person, you have to make an application at least 5 days in advance before the start of the business. In case of the casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person, what is the meaning? We will cover in section 27. Just wait for some more time. But point to be noted, casual taxable person, non-resident taxable person cannot make the supply without having the GST number. It means they have to make an application before 5 days. Important one. Arun is doing the business, say in UP. One location is in SEZ and one location is non-SEZ, out of the SEZ. Compulsory I have to take registration in both. If person having one unit in a special economic zone, unit or developer have to make a separate registration, as distinct from place of the business located outside the SEZ. So example is Arun is doing the business in SEZ and non-SEZ, I have to take separate registration. Is it a kind of exemption of 24, 22 in cause on those section casual taxable persons? Yes. Even though I am covered in section, even though casual taxable person, Ria, can you please write the question in English so it would be easy for all the participants. People would be able to understand the question and can understand the reply which is given by me. Because I am not able to understand why you are using the word die. You will find the separate list of the handicraft goods in the notification, which I will explain in the casual taxable person category. Now, a person shall be granted a single registration, that is okay. Suppose within the state, I am operating in UP. I like to take registration in say Kanpur. I like to take registration. Give me only 1 minute, please. Suppose if I am doing the business in UP, one location in Kanpur and one location in say Noida, I can take a single registration. And mention one as a principal place and one as an additional place. Second point, if I like to take, it's my choice. If I like to take a two registration or separate registration for every place of the business, yes, you can take. Namrata, turnover limit would be pan-India basis now. Turnover limit would be pan-India. Suppose I'm doing the business in UP, in Kanpur, in Lucknow, in Noida, in SEZ, non-SEZ. I have to aggregate all the turnover. And then total turnover would be checked if it is exceed the threshold limit. It is not state-wise or it is not location-wise. Fine. Suppose my turnover not exceed the threshold limit. Can I take the voluntarily registration? Answer is yes, you can take the voluntarily registration. Why then separate casual taxable person, normal person, although both are not liable? Okay, got your point. Ria, just wait for some minute. I will let me explain. You have the doubt with respect to this point. Let me answer this question first. So you are asking, I think Ria, you are asking this point, correct? So you are saying why it has not been merged. The reason is that, see, casual taxable person is covered in section 24. Casual taxable person is covered in section 24. So normally if I use the word casual taxable person, what do you say? Sir, mandatory registration. Here there is one exception, that if he is providing the handicraft goods up to rupees 20 lakh, then not required to take registration. If I will say this, then you will ask the question, sir, whether this exemption is available to the normal person, whether this relaxation is available to the normal person. Answer is yes, because there is a separate item is being given. That is the reason these 2 points has not been merged. Okay, kindly give me the confirmation. I hope it is clear, Ria Bhatia, and one more participant has asked this question. Let me speed up some discussion so that we can complete our chapter. I have only left with 50 minutes. I have to complete a lot. So please allow me for 15-20 minutes. I will concentrate on the discussion on the particular PPT part, the discussion on the presentation, so that I can cover. Fine. So I have to take compulsory registration. If I like to take the separate registration within the state, I have the option. I can take one registration in the state, no problem. If I want, I can take multiple registration for every place of the business. 25(3) talk about if my turnover not exceed threshold limit. Suppose my turnover is like 2 lakh rupees. Can I take the registration? Answer is yes. Voluntarily, I can take the registration. 25(4) and 25(5) talking about one PAN multiple GSTIN. One PAN multiple GSTIN. It is called as distinct person. I hope this point has been covered up in the supply chapter also. There is one provision with respect to the distinct person. Suppose I am having one PAN but multiple GSTIN. Let's say I am doing the business in Delhi, I am doing the business in Maharashtra, doing the business in Rajasthan. I have the PAN number would remain same, but it will have the separate GST number. It is called as a distinct person. And same concept is applicable for fixed establishment too. 25(6) talk about normally you must have the permanent account number. Normally you must have the permanent account number before taking the registration. But what is the exception? Exception is covered in the section 25 subsection 7. Normally I should have the permanent account number, but is there any exception? Answer is yes, notwithstanding anything contained. in case of the non-resident taxable person, he can take the registration on the basis of other document as may be prescribed. So he need to submit the copy of the passport. And there are some more documents. What I mean to say, 25(6) is talking about that person has to compulsory PAN number, then only he can apply the GST number. But the exception is NRTP, non-resident taxable person, may be granted registration on the basis of other document like passport, etc. 25(6) I have 6A, B, C, D I have skipped because it is related to the Aadhaar card, Aadhaar number. We'll discuss will explain in combined manner. 25(8) talking about where the person is liable to be registered but fail to obtain the registration, suo motu registration by the GST officer. Suo motu registration by the GST officer. Mr. A, important theory question can be expect. You can expect theory question. Mr. A need to apply the GST number, but he has not applied intentionally or unintentionally. His turnover exceed the threshold limit, 20, 40, whatever the case may be. Proper officer, GST officer, while doing the scrutiny, search, seizure, found that Mr. A liable to take but not taken. He can grant the temporary registration by virtue of the 25(8). So now the Mr. A has been granted the GST number by the GST officer. What is the action to be taken by the Mr. A? He has two action point. You can within 90 days, Mr. A has to apply the normal registration. Within 90 days, he has to apply the normal registration, or he can file the appeal. If appeal is being rejected, then from the date of the order within 30 days, he needs to make an application of the GST number. (25)(9) talking about UIN number. What is the UIN? UIN means unique identity number. What is the UIN? UIN means unique identity number, meaning thereby any specialized agency of the United Nations Organization, multilateral financial institution, United Nations Organization can obtain the registration in the GST UIN or any other class as may be notified. On the basis, what is the purpose of the UIN? Main purpose is the refund of taxes, but refund of the taxes is covered in the CA final, not right now, not in this inter-level, rest to be sure. But if you think why these United Nations Organization, multilateral financial institution, consulate, foreign embassies, why they will take the registration? The main purpose is the refund of the taxes on the notified supply the goods or services as may be prescribed. Is there any break? Is there any break? So I might not be aware. Is there any time limit, time to break? I don't know what is the time being allotted by the CA Institute. Sorry, might be it has been written in the mail and I have skipped. Excuse me. You please let me know that break. You really require the break, or we can continue? You really require the break, or we can continue so that we can cover at least comparatively large component, large part. Is it okay if we continue without break? Kindly confirm. Please confirm. Is it okay that we will continue without break also? Fine. No answer. So 2510 UIN shall be granted or rejected after due verification. Certificate of the registration that will be granted in REG 06. Registration or UIN number shall be deemed to have been granted. Yes. Now important one. Deemed registration Fine, no problem. Let me take a break of 8:50, 8:45 right now, 8:50. We will take the break of only 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. Fine. Only 5 minutes we will take the break. We do not have that too much time. So I hope we can start. Let me talk about first the time limit of approval. Go back to the page number 40. Right now, I am explaining what is the concept or what is the time limit to approve the GST number. If I have made the application, then within how many days officer has to approve the application? If he does not take the action within that time period, it will be considered as deemed approval. The logic is clear to all? The logic is, if the proper officer failed to take any action in the following case, then the application would be deemed to be approved. It means automatic approval. There is no requirement. What is the time limit to approve the application? Application of what? GST application. Means Mr. A like to take GST registration. He has applied on the GST portal. What is the time limit within which officer has to approve? Need to see whether applicant, whether Mr. A is going for Aadhaar authentication or not. If he's undergo the Aadhaar authentication, then the time limit to approve the application is 7 days. If no Aadhaar authentication, or he failed to do the Aadhaar authentication. See, first try to understand what is that meaning. When I am making the application, in the part, there is a part A and part B, two parts there. In the part B, I have to select whether I like to go for Aadhaar authentication or not. If I have selected Aadhaar authentication, then I have selected the Aadhaar authentication, then I have to do the Aadhaar authentication. So there is two situations. Situation number one, if I have not selected the Aadhaar authentication or KYC while submitting the application of the GST, then time limit would be 30 days. And along with the physical verification of the location. What is the time limit? If I have selected the Aadhaar authentication, then it will be the 7 working days from the submission of the application. If I have not selected the Aadhaar authentication, the time limit would be 30 days. The time limit would be 30 days. Clear? So, if the approval is not being granted within 7 days or 30 days, it will be deemed to be approved. If the proper officer failed to take any action, then it will be deemed to be approved. Now, what is this? Suppose I have applied the Aadhaar authentication or I have not applied the Aadhaar authentication within 7 days or within 30 days, officer has raised the notice. Officer has objected that yes, this is not properly filled, or I have the doubt with respect to the address proof, identity, etc. Then when the notice, so-called notice is being served, then I will give the clarification. Once I will give the clarification, then within 7 days from the receipt of the clarification by the applicant, within 7 days, I have submitted the application, and from that date, within 7 days, if the officer not accepted, it will be deemed to be accepted. Let me repeat what is the concept of the deemed approval. We have discussed 3 points. Point number 1, I have selected the application by if I have made the application for registration, I have made the application for the registration by selecting the Aadhaar authentication, then within 7 days. If I have made the application without Aadhaar authentication, or I have selected the Aadhaar but failed to undergo the Aadhaar authentication, then the time limit would be 30 days, supported by physical verification, of the place of the business by the proper officer. And that is okay. Third thing, that suppose within 30 days or 7 days, officer has issued the notice seeking any clarification. I have to give the reply. And after giving the reply within 7 days, no action has been taken. Again, it will be considered as a deemed approval. Working day means the holiday which is being notified by the government, like Saturday, Sunday, or like any other national holiday. You might get confused the deemed approval versus deemed registration. There's a concept of deemed registration also and deemed approval also. Difference. What is the deemed approval? If the officer failed to take the action within the days which we have discussed, then the application would be considered as deemed approved. And what is the concept of the deemed registration? Let me discuss the concept of the deemed registration. Come to the page number 31. Deemed registration means if I have applied the GST, then grant of the registration by the CGST or the UIN number or SGST or UTGST shall be deemed to be the grant of the registration, or the UIN number for registration or the UIN number has not been rejected under this section 2510. It means the grant of the registration or the UIN number or SGST Act or UTGST Act shall be deemed to be the grant of the registration or the unique identity number under this act. Suppose my file is being adjudicated or it is lying with the SGST officer. Once he approves the application, it will be deemed to be approved by the CGST, IGST also. There is no separate approval required by every officer. We know initially we have discussed that one number would suffice for CGST, SGST or UTGST or IGST. When I am making the application, there is no separate approval. If it is being approved by your officer, it will be deemed to be approved under all act. Like SGST officer approved, it will be approved by CGST, IGST or UTGST as the case may be. Any other question? Namrata, right? 7 days. Deemed mean any query or pending. Deemed mean approved. Deemed approval means it will be deemed to be approved. Even though there is any, see, he has not raised the query within the time limit, 30 days or 7 days, or he has not taken any action after submitting my reply within 7 days. After that, he cannot raise any query. If it is raised, then also my application would be deemed approved. Yes, to the receipt date on grant. To the recipient date on. Rupesh, question is not clear. Please raise your question again. So, like now we are talking about casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person. We are talking about multiple times CTP, NRTP, but what is the meaning of the CTP or NRTP? First, I will explain with the help of example, then we'll read the language. Mr. Arun is located in Maharashtra. So understand the example first. Arun is located in Maharashtra, but he like to come to Delhi, like to participate in Pragati Maidan trade fair, from where he like to make a taxable supplies. Arun is registered in Maharashtra, but he like to participate in say trade fair of Delhi for 5 days. from where he like to make a taxable supplies. One thing is clear, Arun cannot make a taxable supply from Delhi. Arun cannot make a taxable supply from Delhi without taking the registration. He need to register, but he has the choice because he does not have the fixed place of the business in Delhi. Because he does not have the fixed place of the business in Delhi, therefore, he has the option to go for casual taxable person. Arun does not have the fixed place of the business and therefore he can go casual taxable person category. Similarly, what is the meaning of the casual taxable? Let's read. Casual taxable person, what is the meaning of the casual taxable person? Casual taxable person means a person who occasionally undertake the transaction, whether it is a goods or services or both, whether acting as a principal agent or in any other capacity in a state where he has no fixed place of the business. From where I like to make a taxable supplies, then I have to take registration in Delhi. And which category? Casual category. Under CTP category. What is the benefit under the CTP category? The point, certain point I'm explaining. This is same for CTP and NRTP. What is the casual taxable person? Casual taxable persons means a person who occasionally undertake the transaction involving the supply of the goods or services or both, whether he is acting as a principal agent or in any other capacity, and in a state where he has no fixed place of the business. Sir, I am talking about different state, because if I am registered in Maharashtra, I can do the business in Maharashtra anywhere. Just I like to add the additional place of business. But I can go in a state from where I am like to make a taxable supplies, but I do not have the fixed place of the business. Option is I can go for casual taxable person category. Now let me explain what is the meaning of the non-resident taxable person category, and both are having the same provision. A person who is a foreigner or occasionally want to effect the taxable supplies in India, then he need to take the registration. Again, suppose Mr. John from USA like to come to India and India like to make a taxable supplies and he does not have any fixed place of the business. Then he can go for the non-resident taxable person category. Certain point, the casual taxable person and NRTP both are not having the fixed place of the business. Second point, they have to make an application 5 days in advance before the start of the business. Third point that they can make an application for 90 days minimum, maximum 90 days. So if I am casual taxable person for Delhi, then I can make an application only for the maximum 90 days. Or I can select a short period also. Plus, I can further extend by another period of 90 days. After that, not possible. This point is same for casual taxable person and for non-resident taxable person, both the category. Repeating again that casual taxable person or non-resident taxable person has to make an application 5 days in advance, can make an application for having the validity maximum 90 days. Suppose I like to select 10 days. Is it okay? Yes, no problem. I can select, but maximum 90 days. And suppose, can I take an extension? Answer is yes, one-time extension by another period of 90 days. One-time extension by another period of the 90 days. Third point is clear. Fourth point, he has to pay the tax in advance on estimation basis. He has to pay the tax in advance on estimation basis. He has to pay the tax in advance on estimation basis. When I am making the application, I need to put the figure of estimated turnover. Sir, it may be varied. Sir, that is the reason the word estimated is being added. Casual taxable person or non-resident taxable person, while making the application, they have to put the estimated turnover, estimated tax liability. That liability has to be paid. Then only the application would be get approved. PAN number. PAN number, casual taxable person has to PAN number. NRTP, you remember in the 25 subsection 6, we have discussed that PAN number has to be there. In 25.7, we have discussed it is not applicable in case of the NRTP, non-resident taxable person. What is the provision? NRTP has to submit the copy of his valid passport along with the application, which is to be signed by his authorized signatory of an Indian resident having the valid PAN. So NRTP application would be submitted by an Indian resident who is having the valid PAN. And one more exception, in case of the business entity incorporated or established outside India, then application of the registration shall be submitted along with its tax identification number or unique identification number, on the basis of which entity is registered in that country. So he might have that PAN number or any other tax identification number of that country. That number has to be submitted along with the application. So this is all about casual taxable person or non-resident taxable person. Please put me the question if you have any doubt with respect to casual or non, or is it clear? Kindly confirm. Now you are giving the less reply. Is it okay? Answer the question number 12. Mr. Alan, a non-resident taxable person wishes to provide the taxable supplies of the goods. He has no fixed place of the business in India. He seeks your advice. Is he required to take registration? Give me the answer whether he is required to take registration, yes or no. Give me the answer for question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4. Are you able to hear my voice? Anybody can confirm? Are you able to hear my voice? Fine. Okay. Now I am receiving the reply. Yes. Now give me the reply. Is he required to take registration? Is he required to take registration? Is he required to take registration? Answer would be give me the answer. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4. Same question is being asked for 5 marks. This is the list of the question which is being asked in the previous attempt. The same question is being asked for question number 12, and you can see the question number 13. Exactly same. Please give me the answer for question number 1. Is he required to take registration? Yes, he need to take registration. Perfect. PAN number is not mandatory. Perfect. What is the period of the validity? Sir, the period of validity which is selected the period, but maximum 90 days. The period which you have selected, but maximum 90 days. Whether he can able to extend, answer is yes. He can extend another period of 90 days. Question number 13, casual taxable person, meaning we have discussed, can opt for the composition. Answer would be no. You need to go to the section 10, subsection 2. What is the CTP liable to get registered? Same answer for the NRTP, 5 days in advance before the start of the business. What is the validity period? So the period which has been selected, but maximum period is 90 days. Will he be able to extend? Answer is yes. How much? 90 days. I hope this part is also clear to all. I hope this part is also clear to all. Great. Please wait till the end of the class, because last some time, according to the availability, last 5 or 10 minutes, I will ask quick question. You all need to give me the quick reply. You will enjoy the last 5 minutes. I can assure you, you will enjoy the last 5 minutes, but you will remain till end. And you all have assured me that we can extend the class till 10. Quickly confirm. You will be there in the last. You will be there till the last. And also, I will take the class till 10 o'clock. Mr. X, casual taxable person, is not enrolled in making taxable supplies of the notified handicraft goods. Which of the following statement is true for Mr. X? Select option A, option B, option C, option D. Select the correct answer. It's so easy question. Absolutely correct. Thank you, Siddharth. I can assure you the last 5 minutes would be superb of this class. You will enjoy the discussion. I can assure you. Give me the answer for the question number 14. Give me the answer for the question number 14. It was in the mock test paper. MTP means mock test paper. RTP means, revision test paper. MTP November 21. Give me the answer for the question number 14. Mix A, B, C, D. He is making the taxable supplies of the notified handicraft goods. He is not required to take registration. He is not required to take registration. I am sharing the respective slide, then you yourself give the answer. Give me only 2 minutes. Give me only 2 minutes. Sorry, I'm unable to find. Allow me 1 more minutes. Allow me 1 more minutes. Page number 72. Yes, I hope it's visible to all. Give me the answer. This is the question. This is the question. Casual taxable person making the supply the notified handicraft goods is not required to take registration till 20 lakhs. Now give me the right answer. Once again, I'm requesting all, please give me the correct answer now. After reading the answer, please give me the correct answer. Great, Pooja. Has to take compulsory? Answer is no. Is required to get registered 40 lakhs? Answer is no. Is not required to take registration? Answer is no. X is required to take registration if aggregate turnover in the financial year exceeds 20 lakhs. The correct answer is option number B. I hope it is clear. The certificate which is being granted is valid till it is cancelled. It is no validity. Normal certificate I am talking about. In case of the casual taxable person, in case of the non-resident taxable person, yes, there is validity period. But in case of the normal registration, there is no validity period. It is valid till it is being cancelled. It is valid till it is being cancelled. So the right answer for last question is, for the right answer is question number B we have discussed. Yes. What is the validity period? It is valid till cancelled. Revocation place of the business. This question number 17 is. Can you give me the quickly answer for the question number 18? Can you give me the answer to the question number 18? Can you please give me the quick answer for the question number 18? I'm waiting for your answer. What is the answer to the question number 18? What is the correct option for the question number 18? We have already discussed, but I do agree. We have already discussed, but please repeat. Please confirm the correct answer. Rupesh, unable to understand. HB aggregate business lacks. Unable to understand your point. Can you please clarify your point once again? Sorry. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's talking about not involved. I'm so sorry. Not involved in making the notified handicraft goods. So I have given the answer. Based on his making the taxable supplies of the notified handicraft goods. Suppose I'm saying is not involved. If I'm saying not involved, then sorry, Namrata, repeating again for all the benefits. So first question number 14, I am saying casual taxable person involving the handicraft goods. Then answer would be B. Perfect. Now I am saying if he is not involved in making the taxable supplies of the notified handicraft goods, then answer would be D. So question number 14, if involved, then answer number B. If not involved, then answer number D. Now please, everyone, please confirm, is it okay? Is it clear? Namrata and everyone. Thank you so much, Ankit Verma. Siddharth, thank you so much for highlighting the point. Is it okay? Now is it okay? Please confirm. Is it okay now? Sandeep, still you are saying 14A. Why? Still you are saying 14A. Why? Tirumala, why you are saying not required to take registration under GST under any circumstances? Because why you are saying unable to understand the point number A? Sandeep, can you give me the reasoning for point number A? Tirumala colleague, can you give me the reasoning for point number A? Fine. Thank you. I hope you got the clarity for question number 14. Question number 18, we have discussed that 5 days in advance he has to make an application. Question number 19, revocation. Question number 20. Quickly answer question number 20. Jed of Himachal Pradesh start the new business. Make the following supply in the first month. Intrastate 17, exempted 1, interstate 1 lakh. He is required to obtain the registration. Please select the correct answer. Please select the correct answer. Whether is required to take registration, please select the correct answer. May I request, please select the correct answer. Mansa, section 24, casual taxable person need to take mandatory registration. Okay, no problem. Sandeep, you are saying mistake. No problem. I hope Mansa it is clear. Casual taxable person normally covered in section 24 need to take mandatory registration. Only one exception, that if he is providing handicraft goods, he is not required to take registration till 20 or 10. Mansa, kindly confirm, is it clear? Tirumala Kohli, I hope question number 14 is clear. Rohan Jain 20 ka C. Vedant is also saying C. First tell me, do you need to bother about what is the threshold limit in this example? Sir, interstate taxable supplies of the goods. Once this line is there, once they are talking about section 24, I am less bother what is the threshold limit. I'm less bother what is the threshold limit because they are covering the example in one of the situation. If I am making that interstate supply the taxable goods, I have to take compulsory registration. The right answer is C. Is it clear? I hope it is clear. Fine. Sandeep, why you saying none is the correct answer? Subho, Mr. Subhobal, why you saying none is the correct answer? He is engaged in the interstate supply of the taxable goods which covered in section 24 compulsory registration. We are not required to see the turnover, aggregate turnover. What is the turnover is making? List bother. If he is making the supply from one state to the another state, taxable goods, it is covered in section 24, liable to take mandatory registration. Give me the confirmation, Subhobol and Siddharth, no? Sandeep. Quick confirmation. Is it okay? Rohini, I am receiving your answer. Might be there are a lot of participants giving the reply. Might be that is the reason I am not able to take your name. Fine. Let me talk about the procedure for the registration. So every person liable to get registered person seeking voluntary registration before applying the registration shall declare the PAN, mobile number, email, etc. So I have talked about there is a part A and there is a part B of the GST application. What is the number of application? Nor REG01. In the part A, I have to put the mobile number, email ID, PAN number, and what is the legal name of appearing in the PAN number. I will submit the part A. Once I will submit the part A, the PAN number would be validated from the CBDT database. Mobile number and email ID would be verified from the one-time password. Mobile number and email validated. Once everything is validated, then TRN number would be generated. See, what is the process? I have to complete part A. The part A will contain mobile number, email ID, PAN number, and legal name and state also. Once I submit these, then PAN number would be verified by the system through CBDT database, and email ID and mobile number would be verified through one-time password. Once this will be verified, the TRN number would be generated. TRN number would be generated. It will remain for 15 days. Why for 15 days? So that I can complete the part B. Namrata, absolutely correct. If he's making the yes, Kusha. Sahu, I am receiving your reply also. Namrata, exempt, you are correct, but in this example we have discussed about taxable. Rohini, yes, I am receiving your reply. Part B, TRN number. Once TRN number would be received, I can go for the part B that has to be completed within 15 days. On receipt of the application, acknowledgement in the prescribed form shall be issued to the applicant. A casual taxable person applying for registration get a TRN for making an advance deposit of the tax that we have discussed. In the CTP case and NRTP case, the tax has to be paid in advance. Application will be forwarded to the proper officer. After receipt of the application is depicted in part 2. Let me read the part 2 also. So in the part B of the application, so we have discussed part A, TRN number would be generated. After that, we have to complete part B. What is in the part B? Part B contain proprietor or partner detail or promoter details, place of the business, HSN code or SSC code of the supply which you are making, Aadhaar authentication, and multiple these type of the informations. So once we will complete this information, then the application would be submitted and it will goes to proper officer for verification. If he found in order, then the time limit would be 7 days if applicant has successfully Aadhaar authenticated. In case if applicant failed to undergo the Aadhaar authentication or does not apply the authentication and PO will do the physical verification, then time limit would be 30 days. I hope this is clear, difference of 7 days versus 30 days, because it will have the impact on the deemed approval. The proper officer can issue the notice in the 7 days or 30 days from the application, seeking the clarification information on the documentation. Perfect. After receiving this reply, if proper officer received, applicant has to furnish the clarification again within 7 days. One of the participant has asked the question, sir, what is the time limit to give the clarification? Officer has issued the notice to me. I will give the reply within 7 days. Now it's responsibility of the officer to complete, accept or reject within 7 days. If the officer is satisfied, then okay, approve in REG 06. If not satisfied, then proper officer may reject for reason to be recorded in writing. This is the process of application. Now we are moving to the amendment, cancellation, suspension. These 3 topics are pending. We will talk about amendment, cancellation, and that particular revocation. GST number format. So one more thing, sorry, I'm adding one more point, that following person, as per the section 25(6)(d), the following person are exempt from Aadhaar authentication. So you may expect one theory question, that who are the person not required to do the Aadhaar authentication. Following person has been notified in this regard: person who is not a citizen of India, no Aadhaar authentication; department or establishment of the state government or central government, no Aadhaar authentication; local authority, statutory body, public sector undertaking, person notified for UIN under section 25, like foreign embassies, consulate, okay, United Nations organization. These are not required. So these are which are the category? Person who is citizen of India, because it is highlighted, newly added. So you must remember, you may expect one question on theoretical. Person who is citizen of India, department or establishment of the state government, local authority, statutory authority, public sector undertaking, and UIN. Sir, for CTP procedure would be same. Procedure would be same. Rekha, procedure would be same. Only point that they have to pay the tax in advance. They have to make an application in advance. The process would be same. One more thing. Earlier there was a requirement that bank account detail has to be given in the part B at the time of application. What has relaxed that now when you are making the application, suppose I am new applicant to provide, I like to start the business, let's say in the name of Arun Chajed and Company. This is my CA firm, let's say, and I like to take the GST number of Arun Chajed and Company. So probably I do not have the account in the name of Arun Chajed and Company. How I can submit the details? So probably earlier they were talking about the please submit the saving bank account detail, etc. Now what is the being relaxation? A taxpayer give the bank account detail after obtaining the registration within 45 days from the date of the grant of the registration or due date of the furnishing of the return, whichever is earlier. What is the return? We have this topic we will discuss in the last class, but yes, he has an option that he can add the bank detail within 45 days. What is the counting of the 45 days? Date of the grant of the registration or the due date of furnishing the return, whichever is earlier. 2 marks question has been asked in the earlier paper. 2 marks question, what is the time limit? Might be they are asking directly the section or the rule 10 capital A, or sometimes they are asking what is the time limit to furnish the bank detail. You need to remember these 2. Physical verification, when the physical verification will be carried out, if Aadhaar has not authenticated or not opting for Aadhaar. See, either he has selected the Aadhaar authentication but failure to do the authentication. So when I submit the when I tick the Aadhaar authentication in the part B, automatic mail would come from Aadhaar, mobile number and email ID on both. I will give the link and I will select the link. OTP would be generated and I will verify. This is the Aadhaar authentication process. So I have selected in the part B that I will do for Aadhaar authentication, but I failure to do. And second, I have not at all selected for Aadhaar. In both the cases, what is the time limit to approve the application? What is the time limit to approve the application? What is the time limit to approve the application? 30 days. And 30 days supported by physical verification. Just wait for last 10 minutes. I will ask the quick fire question. You all give the reply. Your entire chapter would be completed. Waiting for the last 10 minutes. Huh? Is it? No. GST number 15 digit we have discussed. State code first 2 digit like Delhi 07, 08 for 08 for I think Rajasthan, 06 for Haryana, 09 for UP, something like that. PAN number 10 digit, entity code and checksum digit error. Entity code would represent the number of the registration and checksum error, it is by default by the system. So coming to this particular, give me 1 minute. So I will go to that particular amendment and registration, cancellation. You are enjoying the class now? Kindly confirm all you are enjoying the class. $27 for Maharashtra, right, Amrita. All you are enjoying the class now? So what is the amendment? What is the amendment point? The amendment means I have submitted the details, part A and part B, and the details is being changed, like name of the proprietor, promoter, director, partner. not the proprietor. See, we'll ask the question, not the proprietor. We'll ask the question, but suppose legal name, addition, deletion of the stakeholder, principal place of the business, additional place of the business, etc. Then I have to apply the amendment, and amendment would be in the core field. And any other amendment like email, mobile number, etc., that would be the non-core amendment. Thank you so much, Vedant. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. In Sunday morning, Rohanjan is saying in the Sunday morning, still we are enjoying the class. Thank you. Thank you so much. No problem. So we are talking about if the core information or non-core information is being changed and I have to make the amendment, that time limit is within 15 days from the event that necessitates the changes. The event is being occurred within 15 days. I have to make an application and either core field and non-core field. Why there is a difference in core and non-core? Why there is a difference in the core and non-core? See, in the core application, it need the approval from the proper officer. In the non-core amendment, there is no requirement of approval. It will be automatically approved. Repeating again, in the core field, you need to make the application submission, and once it will be submitted, officer will approve. And in the non-core, there is no requirement of approval. It will be automatically approved. The point number 1. Such changes does not warrant, fine. Legal name, address, and addition, deletion. Like say legal name has been changed and addition, deletion of the partner, director, karta. This and this. If you are changing these two particulars, shall be applicable for all the registration under that PAN. All the registration under that PAN. Core means important. Core means important, critical information. See, the legal name has been changed. Director, partner, promoter, etc. has been changed. These are the crucial information. So they are saying, yes, proper officer will check and then it will be approved. For this too, if suppose there is a changes in the promoter, director, partner, or there is a legal change, it will be applicable for all the changes of these two particulars shall be applicable for all registration of a registered person obtaining under the provision of this chapter on the same PAN. I hope it is clear. Core and non-core. Non-core means information is changed, but it is not too much important. Mobile number, email ID. Repeating the question again. If PAN number is changed, do I need to take a new registration or I can make an amendment in the existing? Option number A, do I need to take a new registration or I have to make an application in amendment? Give me the answer. Waiting for your reply. Do I need to take a new registration or I can make an amendment in the existing? Waiting for a reply. If PAN number is changed because of any reason, then can I make the correction or I have to make an application? I have to make a new application. The answer is no amendment. No amendment. No amendment is possible. If there is a change in the PAN, you have to make compulsory new registration. You have to make compulsory new registration. Now let me talk about a certain part for the cancellation and then revocation. Then we will complete our chapter. Cancellation. So cancellation in section 29, we will discuss two subsection. 29(1) talk about if the proper officer either on his own motion or an application filed by the registered person. Suppose I am a registered person and I like to cancel my number. Why? Because I am not doing the business. I have shut down my business or any other reason. I have transferred my business, or my turnover is below threshold limit. Someone has asked the question in the initial time that suppose I have registered, but my turnover in the next financial year reduced to 15 lakh. Do I need to pay the GST? Please note one thing. There was 2-mark question. Please note one thing. Once I taken the registration and till the time I am registered, whether my turnover crossed the threshold limit or it is below threshold limit, I have to pay the GST on my taxable supplies. I have to pay the GST on my taxable supplies. Only point, yes, I can surrender, I can cancel. If I cancel, then no problem. You are not required to pay the GST once the GST number is being cancelled. 25 subsection 1 talking about when the proper officer either is on motion or an application filed by the registered person, or in case of the death of the person, he legal here can file the application for cancellation. In which circumstances either business has been discontinued, death of the proprietor, or it has been amalgamated, demerged, change in the constitution of the business. For example, I was doing the proprietorship business. Now I have converted into the partnership. Because there is a change in the PAN, so this existing number has to be surrendered and new has to be applied. Clear. And third is taxable person. I was doing the business, still I am doing the business, but my turnover is below threshold limit. Turnover is below threshold limit. I can submit the application for cancellation. Important one, this is highlighted, new changes. During the pendency of the proceeding relating to the cancellation filed by the taxpayer, the registration may be suspended. So there is a provision of suspension. So till the time I have submitted the application, till the time my cancellation application not approved, it will be deemed to be suspended. Once it will be suspended, no requirement to file any GST return or etc. Now, this is important. Direct theory question can be expected. 25.2, when the proper officer can cancel. When the proper officer can cancel. Contravene the provision. He has taken the registration. So I have taken the registration under section 10, that is composition levy, and not furnish the return for 3 consecutive tax period. If I am regular category of registration, not furnish the return for 6 months, and I have taken voluntarily registration, then I have not started the business in 6 months. So difference in 6 months, voluntarily taken the registration. My liability was not to take the registration in 22 or 24, but still I have taken, correct? Then I have not started the business within 6 months, and registration has been obtained by means of the fraud or willful misstatement. Fine. Yes. Cancellation does not mean that if there is any liability, you are not required to pay. Suppose the period for which I am registered and there is any liability come, I have to pay that liability, doesn't matter. The cancellation in CGST will be deemed to be SGST, all IGST, UTGST, etc. 25.5 is very important for practical point of view. What is say that every registered person is registration is cancelled shall pay an amount by way of the debit in electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger. So I am registered, I have surrendered, I have cancelled my number. Do I need to pay something? Answer is yes. How much? Shall pay the amount by way of the debit in electronic credit or cash ledger, equivalent to credit of my ITC in stock or capital goods. For capital goods or plant and machinery, there is a proviso. The proviso says how much amount I need to pay on capital goods. Proviso says in case of the capital goods or plant and machinery, the taxable person shall pay the amount equal to the ITC taken on the said capital goods or the plant and machinery, reduced by such percentage point as may be prescribed. So the rule 44, which talks about the life of the capital goods, is 5 years. The proportionate life, I have to reverse, I have to pay the same. Revocation, this is the last discussion. Subject to such condition as may be prescribed, any registered person whose registration is cancelled on his own motion may apply for the revocation of cancellation. Suppose proper officer has cancelled my application, I can apply the revocation. Point to be noted, very, very important. Revocation would only work when the application is cancelled by the officer. Suppose I myself has filed the application for cancellation, I cannot go under section 30 for revocation. Underline this word, whose registration is cancelled by the proper officer. If you are applying the cancellation, there is no revocation option. The time limit for revocation is 30 days, but this is new amendment. You may expect the question of 2 marks. What is the amendment? On the sufficient cause being shown for the reason to be recorded in writing, additional commissioner can extend the time limit by another 30 days. So normal time limit is 30 days. If there is a sufficient reason, it can be extended by another 90 days by additional commissioner or the joint commissioner. It can further be extended by the commissioner. So the total time limit is 90 days, 30 by your officer and 30 by the additional or the joint commissioner and additional 30 by the commissioner. Total 90 days. This is the new amendment applicable for May 22. You may please note. Fine, no problem. And one revocation, and like last point I like to discuss section rule 21. So we have discussed 29 subsection 2. Proper officer can cancel the registration in certain circumstances, not started the business within 6 months, not file the return of 6 months, composite taxable person. Additionally, rule 21 talking about does not conduct the business from the declared place of the business, not issue the invoice or bill without making the supply. So fake invoicing, anti-profiteering provision not applicable. Just for the point you remember, violate the provision of 10A means within 45 days I have not submitted the application. Avail the ITC in section 16. I hope you remember 16 subsection 2 talk about the condition for taking the ITC. If I have taken the ITC violating the provision of section 16. Furnishing the Gstr1. So the Gstr1 is the details of the outward supply and which showing the detail of the outward supply, but I have paid the taxes less in 3B. Gstr1 is greater than the Gstr3B. We are reporting the outward supply in the Gstr1. We are paying the taxes through Gstr3B. Liability, actual invoices which I have reported in the Gstr1 is higher, and when I am paying the taxes in 3B, it has been reported less. It can be one of the reason of cancellation, violate the provision of 86B. I hope you remember in the ITC chapter we've discussed 99% tax liability I can pay in credit and 1% I have to pay in cash. If exceeding 50 lakh, there is certain exception. Like in case of government, it is not applicable. Cumulative, it is not applicable. Likewise, you can refer the 86B of the ITC chapter. By this, I have completed the class. I hope you all have enjoyed the class, and I have tried my best to explain. If still you have the doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, my last 5-minute quick fire round is started. Are you ready? Just confirm. 1% in cash we done. Perfect. So now let's start. So you all are ready. I'm starting the quick question. You all need to give me the quick reply. All ready? Just give me the confirmation in the chat box. So now I am free. You all are active. You all should be active. I'm asking the question. Time limit to make the application. Time limit to make the application if I'm registered, if I'm liable to register by virtue of the section 22 or 24. Question number 1, time limit to make the application of the GST registration. Give me the answer. I'm asking the question from the entire book. 10 minutes maximum I will take. Time limit to make the application if I am liable to take registration within how many days? If I'm liable to take registration by virtue of the section 22 or 24. Excellent. Excellent. The right answer is 30 days. 30 days. Situation wherein I need to make the application in advance. Situation wherein I need to make the application in advance. Situation wherein I need to make the application in advance. All are not participating. I am requesting everyone, please participate. Sir, my humble request, please participate. You will enjoy the discussion. Please participate. Awaiting for your reply, sir. Awaiting for your reply. We will have 10, 15, 20 questions in this particular 5 minutes. Please give me the reply. I am not receiving any reply. 5 days in advance. Absolutely correct. Casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person. Great. Any one example of aggregate turnover which is being, repeating the question. Any component which is not being included in the aggregate turnover. Any example of which not being included in the aggregate turnover. Give me the answer. One example, the transaction or any item which is not being included in the counting aggregate turnover. What is being excluded in calculating the aggregate turnover? Give me the answer. What is being excluded in calculating the aggregate turnover? What is being excluded in calculating the aggregate turnover? Awaiting for a reply. What is being excluded in calculating the aggregate turnover? Absolutely correct. Inward supply of RCM and inward supply of RCM and taxes. Thank you so much. Whether non-taxable supply is an exempt supply. Whether non-taxable supply is an exempt supply. Whether non-taxable supply is an exempt supply. Give me the confirmation. Whether non-taxable supply is an exempt supply. Whether non-taxable supply is an exempt supply, yes or no? Answer is yes. Non-exempt supply is an non-taxable supply is an exempt supply. What is the non-taxable supply? That please name that transaction which is the non-taxable supply. Please name that transaction. There are only two transactions. There are only two transactions which are non-taxable supplies. Please give me the name of those two transactions. Please name the two transactions of the non-taxable supplies. There are only two transactions. There are only two transactions of the non-taxable supplies. Please give me the name. There are only two transactions of the non-taxable supplies. Please give me the name. Absolutely correct. Petrol and liquor. That's it. Supply to the SEZ? Answer is no. It is a zero rated supply. The answer is alcoholic liquor for human consumption and 5 specified petroleum product. If I am making the interstate taxable supplies of the services, is it mandatory or threshold limit to be checked? If I am making the interstate taxable supply of the services, is it mandatory registration or threshold limit to be checked? Please note one thing. Some participant is still not given the right answer. Interstate taxable supply of the goods, mandatory registration. Interstate taxable supply of the service, not required to take registration till 20 or 10 lakh. Threshold limit to be checked. Please do not do this mistake. Very important for exams. Any one example of person not liable to take registration. Quickly, any one example of the person not liable to take registration. Any one example of the person not liable to take registration. I am waiting for your answer and I expect you will give more than one. I expect you all will give more than one, but I am expecting only one example person not liable to take registration by virtue of the section 23. Give me the answer. Give me the answer. Give me the answer wherein I am not required to take registration. The last 1 minute or last 1 minute is there. Last 1 minute is there. Last 1 minute is there. You can take the name of section 23. Please refer section 23. Anyone like I am exclusively engaged in the supply of the goods or services which is not liable to tax or exempt if I am agriculturist. If I am agriculturist and providing the supply which is being produced out of the cultivation of land. Out of the agriculture supply, every agriculture supply. No. If agriculturist is making the produce which is out of the cultivation of land. Suppose agriculturist is doing some other supply like dairy farming, stock breeding. In that case, he has to take registration if turnover exceeds threshold limit. Correct. Please tell me the deemed approval within how many days would be considered if I have gone for Aadhaar authentication. If I have gone for Aadhaar authentication, the deemed approval will be within how many days? After the expiry of how many days application would be deemed to be approved in case if I am going for Aadhaar authentication. If I am going for Aadhaar authentication, how many days application would be deemed to be approved? Great, Ankit. You have written 4 situations. Excellent. Yeah. Subhabol, reverse charge, absolutely correct. Rahul Gandhi, absolutely correct. Riya, no problem, absolutely correct. Sriti, Srishti, yes, right. Everyone is right. So my question is, if I have gone for Aadhaar authentication, submitting the application after the expiry of the how many days application would be deemed to be approved? Expiry, how many days it will be deemed to be approved? Any one example, the person who is not required to go for Aadhaar authentication. Any example or any exception or relaxation of Aadhaar authentication. This is my last question. Any person who is not required or not liable for Aadhaar authentication. Over to you. Any exception of Aadhaar authentication, relaxation from Aadhaar, wherein the parties are not required to go for Aadhaar authentication. Any one example, certain 6 point we have discussed. 6 point approx. I'm awaiting for your answer. Any one exceptions. Exception means the relaxation. My side, the chapter is completed. Today class is completed. Any one relaxation, sir. Any one relaxation. Khushi, absolutely correct. Not citizen of India. Abhishek, non-resident taxable person is not required. Absolutely correct. Rohan, thank you. Public sector undertaking. Rupesh, public sector undertaking. Is it public sector undertaking? Just check. NRTP, okay. Not citizen, local authority, statutory body, government, public sector undertaking. Just check. UIN, yes. Body corporate need to take registration. So please check the section 25 subsection 6D. Subsection 6D, you will find the answer. And today we can conclude our today class. This is my first experience with all of you, and it was a lovely experience because you are very interactive, and thank you so much for cooperating the discussion class. Thank you so much. Goodbye.